December 4th, 1872. The Atlantic Ocean lay shrouded in an eerie silence, a thick fog clinging to the surface like a shroud. The sea was calm, almost unnaturally so, as if holding its breath in anticipation of something ominous. The air was heavy with moisture and visibility was limited to just a few feet ahead. The DEI Gracia, a British brigantine, sliced through the heavy air, her crew alert for any sign of life in the vast emptiness. The ship's timbers creaked under the strain of the journey and the sails flapped gently in the light breeze. The crew, seasoned sailors all, were used to the unpredictable nature of the sea, but today felt different. There was an unspoken tension among them, a sense that something was not quite right. Suddenly, a shape emerged from the mist, a sight that sent chills down their spines, a seemingly abandoned ship, drifting aimlessly with the current. The outline of the vessel became clearer as they approached, revealing tattered sails and a weather-beaten hull. The ship looked like a ghostly apparition, a relic from another time, lost and forgotten in the vast expanse of the ocean. It was the Mary Celeste, her sails torn and weather-beaten, her hull scarred by the unforgiving sea. The name Mary Celeste was barely visible on the bow, the letters faded and worn. The ship had clearly been through a lot, but what had happened to her crew? The questions began to swirl in the minds of the DEI Gracia's crew as they prepared to investigate further. Captain Morehouse of the DEI Gracia, his curiosity piqued by the unsettling sight, ordered his men to board the vessel. The crew gathered their gear and prepared to board the Mary Celeste, their minds racing with possibilities. What could have caused the crew to abandon ship? Was there a mutiny, a pirate attack, or some other disaster? The answers, they hoped, lay aboard the ghostly vessel. The Mary Celeste, despite her ghostly appearance, seemed seaworthy. Her hull was intact, and there was no sign of damage that would explain why she had been abandoned. The ship floated calmly on the water as if waiting for her crew to return. The eerie silence that surrounded the vessel only added to the sense of mystery and foreboding. Her cargo of industrial alcohol remained untouched. Food stores were plentiful. The crew of the DEI Gracia found barrels of alcohol neatly stowed in the hold, and the ship's provisions were more than sufficient for a long voyage. There was no sign of a struggle or any indication that the ship had been ransacked. Everything seemed to be in order except for the absence of the crew. Personal belongings lay scattered about, as if abandoned in haste. The crew's quarters were in disarray, with clothing, books, and other personal items strewn about. It was as if the crew had left in a hurry, with no time to gather their belongings. The sense of urgency and panic was palpable, but there was no clue as to what had caused it. Yet there was no sign of the crew, no indication of struggle, no explanation for their sudden disappearance. The ship's logbook provided no answers, with the last entry dated 10 days earlier. The crew of the DEI Gracia searched every corner of the Mary Celeste but found no trace of the missing sailors. It was as if they had vanished into thin air, leaving behind only questions and a sense of unease. The Mary Celeste presented a chilling paradox, a ship seemingly prepared for a long voyage, yet inexplicably deserted. The vessel was in good condition, her cargo intact and her provisions ample. There was no logical reason for the crew to have abandoned ship, and yet they were nowhere to be found. The mystery deepened with every passing moment, leaving the crew of the DEI Gracia with more questions than answers. The mystery of the missing crew, the eerie silence that hung over the vessel, and the lack of any logical explanation would forever cement the Mary Celeste's place in maritime history as the ultimate ghost ship. The story of the Mary Celeste has fascinated and puzzled historians, sailors, and storytellers for generations. The unanswered questions and the haunting image of the abandoned ship drifting through the fog continue to captivate the imagination, ensuring that the legend of the Mary Celeste will never be forgotten. The sudden and complete disappearance of the Mary Celeste's crew ignited a firestorm of speculation. This mysterious event has puzzled historians, maritime experts, and enthusiasts for over a century. Theories abound, each more intriguing than the last, as people try to piece together what could have happened on that fateful voyage. One of the most prevalent theories centered around the possibility of mutiny. The idea that the crew might have turned against their captain, Benjamin Briggs, has captivated imaginations. Mutiny, driven by various possible motives, seemed like a plausible explanation for the crew's sudden disappearance. Had the crew, driven by greed, madness, or desperation, turned on their captain and sailed off with the ship's lifeboat, leaving no trace of their bloody deed? The lifeboat theory suggests that the crew might have abandoned ship, hoping to start anew or escape some perceived danger. The ship's seemingly undisturbed state argued against a violent struggle. The Mary Celeste was found in a remarkably orderly condition, with no signs of chaos or conflict. This fact has led many to question the mutiny theory, as one would expect some evidence of a struggle if a mutiny had indeed taken place. However, whispers persisted of a possible confrontation, fueled by rumors of a volatile captain and a disgruntled crew. Captain Briggs was known to be a strict disciplinarian, and some believed that tensions between him and his crew could have reached a boiling point. Some speculated that a disagreement over the cargo, perhaps fueled by the effects of the industrial alcohol on board, could have sparked a deadly conflict. The Mary Celeste was carrying a substantial amount of denatured alcohol, which could have been a source of contention among the crew. While the mutiny theory offered a seemingly plausible explanation, it failed to fully account for the lack of evidence. The absence of any physical signs of a struggle or violence on the ship has led many to dismiss the mutiny theory as unlikely. No signs of a struggle, no bloodstains, no weapons left behind. The ship's logbook, personal belongings and cargo were all intact, further deepening the mystery. How could an entire crew vanish without leaving a single clue? The mystery of the Mary Celeste deepened, the whispers of mutiny echoing through the halls of maritime history, unanswered and unresolved. To this day, the fate of the Mary Celeste's crew remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the sea, a haunting enigma that continues to captivate and baffle. The Mary Celeste, adrift and seemingly abandoned, became a canvas onto which imaginations projected the most fantastical explanations. Found in 1872, the ship was eerily empty, with no sign of its crew or passengers. This discovery sparked a myriad of theories and stories, each more intriguing than the last. Whispers of sea monsters, ghostly apparitions, and otherworldly encounters swirled around the ship, fueled by ancient mariner superstitions and the inherent mystery of the open ocean. Sailors, with their rich tradition of storytelling, added layers of myth and legend to the tale of the Mary Celeste, making it a staple of maritime lore. Some whispered of kraken-like creatures, their tentacles capable of pulling entire ships beneath the waves, leaving no trace behind. These monstrous beings, said to dwell in the darkest depths of the ocean, were a common fear among sailors who ventured into uncharted waters. Others spoke of sirens, their enchanting songs luring sailors to watery graves. These mythical beings, half woman and half fish, were believed to possess the power to mesmerize men, leading them to their doom on the jagged rocks of the shore. Still, others pointed to the Bermuda Triangle, suggesting the Mary Celeste had strayed into its mystical and dangerous waters. This region, infamous for the unexplained disappearances of ships and planes, added another layer of enigma to the ship's fate. While these supernatural theories provided a thrilling, albeit improbable explanation for the ship's fate, they lacked any concrete evidence. The ship's logbook, found intact, offered no clues, and the cargo was untouched, deepening the mystery. The rational mind struggled to accept such fantastical notions. Scientists and historians have since proposed more plausible explanations, such as a sudden storm, a mutiny, or even an accidental poisoning, yet none of these theories have been definitively proven. Yet, the human fascination with the unknown, the allure of the supernatural, ensured these legends continued to be passed down through generations, keeping the mystery of the Mary Celeste alive in the realm of maritime folklore. Around campfires and in the dim light of ship cabins, the story of the Mary Celeste is retold, each time with a new twist, ensuring that the legend endures. The enigma of belongings, untouched lives left behind. The captain's log, a cryptic message from the deep.
Expert opinions. Maritime historians weigh in. Historical parallels, echoes of the Mary Celeste.
The unanswered questions, a puzzle for the ages, the enduring mystery, the ghost ship's grip on imagination.
A ghostly discovery, the Mary Celeste adrift. A dilapidated sailing ship adrift in a foggy expanse of ocean, tilted slightly to one side. Its sails are torn, and the name Mary Celeste is just visible on the stern. December 4, 1872. The Atlantic Ocean lay shrouded in an eerie silence, a thick fog clinging to the surface like a shroud.